I think we're ready to get started. Everybody wants to grab a seat, come on up here. We got a small, intimate group, so you can come up to the front row. I'd like to welcome everybody. I'm Doug Scott, the Truck Group Marketing Manager for Ford, and definitely want to thank you for taking the time, especially on Sunday, to join us for the first of three waves here in the U.S. for the 2017 Raptor Media Drive. We definitely appreciate all of you taking the time to come out and join us. So my role is going to be, as normal, to set some context for why we're here, what we hope to accomplish, what it means, how it connects to the brand, and what we're doing in the market. And then I'm going to get out of the way and turn it over to the crazy smart engineers and designers. We've got Jamal and team and Gordo here today, and they'll do a great job taking you through the truck and highlights of the new Raptor, and set up the drive, the on-road drive that we'll have later today, and then the off-road drive for tomorrow. So best place to start is we just came out of November, had a terrific November, sold over 72,000 F-Series trucks in the month of November. To establish, what that really means, 60,000 is a good month, 65,000 is a very good month, and 70,000 is an exceptional month. In fact, there's only been 12 times in the last almost 10 years, 117 months, that we've topped 70,000 F-Series, so really, really good month. Both F-150 and Super Duty were big contributors. For F-150, it was the best November since 1991. For Super Duty, it was the best November since 2004. For F-Series overall, it was the best November since 2001. So an exceptional month, and that was really even without the benefit of Raptor that you're going to get to experience, and the second gen EcoBoost and 10-speed that's part of the 17 F-150. So obviously we got great momentum. We beat our nearest competitor by almost 27,000 units in the month of November. That gives us almost a 213,000 unit lead for the first 11 months of the year. So in about 30 days from now, we'll be celebrating our 40th consecutive year as the best-selling truck, 35th consecutive year as the best-selling vehicle of any type, car, truck, or SUV. And you say, okay, well, what's the relevance of all that to why we're here today? What we're doing here today, that constant innovation, that continuous improvement that we're always talking to you about, is really what enables that kind of domination and that type of leadership. And that's what we're really priding ourselves on, is that continuous improvement and that innovation that we're bringing to the market. And this just happens to be the latest example. Super Duty, obviously new for 2017, already named the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Texas Auto Writers Truck of the Year, a finalist for the North American Truck of the Year, on fire in the market. Just as an example, in November, it was, as I said, best Super Duty month November since 2004, but we're experiencing transaction prices that are $10,000 higher on average unit over the outgoing model. The truck's turning in 22 days. Can't keep them on the lot. We're selling 90% crew, 95% 4x4, over 70% are Lariats and above. So real strong demand for the high series in the new Super Duty. And again, what you're going to experience over the next day is just another example of that innovation that Ford's bringing to bear in the truck market. And one of the things that I like to talk about, this is, our job from the marketing standpoint, is to be the voice of the customer and to make sure that we're communicating to Jamal and his team and Gordo and the design team what the customer is looking for. Clearly in the first gen Raptor, that 2010 through 14 model, we had a hugely successful product. In fact, unmatched in the marketplace, unmatched in my experience. I've been with Ford for over 38 years and in this job for the last 15 years, and I've never seen a truck product that went through 5 model years with increasing volume in each year without a single penny of incentive spending on it. It's not even available on the company employee purchase plan. That shows you the kind of demand there has been for Raptor. In fact, I mentioned to the earlier group that Carl Brower from Kelly Blue Book had contacted us earlier in the year. They were doing some research and going through resale values, and he wondered if we knew how strong the resale value was on the first-gen Raptor. And at that time, back in March or April, a 2014 Raptor was retaining 88% of its original value. So one of the highest in the entire guidebook. And so we have obviously a huge success that we're coming off of. So you say, how do you top that? And again, Gordo and Jamal are going to take you through all the ways in which this Raptor, literally in almost every dimension, is better. The simple way that I'll relate it is Jamal, from the very beginning, when he talked to us about the work they were doing on the new truck, said that comparing the new Raptor to the old Raptor is like comparing the original Raptor to a regular F-150. That's how much of an improvement there is in this new product. So literally the guys have not left any stone unturned. They've touched every performance attribute of the truck. And I think you'll see in their presentation, back to the point about customer insight, as successful as that product was, there were opportunities to make it even better. And fortunately, the teams really listened, and they've done that. I think maybe the train management system is one of the best examples of that. The first-gen product, incredibly capable, but we knew in talking to customers they weren't getting the benefit of all that capability because it was a little bit convoluted or a little bit difficult to get the truck set up and the suspension set up to get the maximum capability out of it in all conditions. Well, the teams made that much easier with this train management system with the 6 different modes. So again, I really ask you to pay close attention to Gordo and Jamal, and then obviously you're going to get to experience it firsthand. We're really proud of it. I think it's another example of what we're doing at Ford. We're staying focused on the customer, staying focused on delivering a better product and innovating and delivering something better for the customer rather than some of our competitors that seem to be distracted by other things and not really talking a lot about innovation, but maybe taking shots at some of the innovation that we're taking. But that's fine. We hope they continue to do that, because since they've started, our leadership margin has grown, and so we'll encourage continuation of dropping bricks in the bed of a truck and that kind of thing. So with that, I'm going to hand off to Gordo, and Gordo will take you through the design. Gordo?
Thanks, Doug. My name's Gordon Plato. I'm the Chief Designer for F-Series, so responsible for F-150 Super Duty and the Raptor. I'm going to go through, first this is the third in a series of common cab vehicles. So everybody knows the 150 Super Duty shares a cab with the 150, and now this shares a cab with both of those vehicles. The offering does come in both cabs, the crew cab and the super cab. I'm going to talk a little bit about what makes the Raptor a Raptor and some of the unique features that we've done on this and some of the DNA that we've carried forward from the previous model to the new model here. So first and foremost, trucks are all about their front ends. So this one, obviously a unique signature Raptor grille. It's got a lot of heritage to the current model with the mesh you'll see here. We're proud of the brand. We're proud of the Ford brand. Regardless of whether it's the oval or the FORD lettering, we like to place that prominently in the center of the grille. We also carried forth the 3 signature lights you see lit here, both for functional reasons and for styling, honestly. So obviously you need the marker lights for anything over 80 inches wide. But this is a real signature piece. You know exactly what this vehicle is when it's coming down the road. As simple as it is, those 3 lights really indicate to the people that this is a Raptor. Okay. With that, we've also got very unique bumpers, and what we've tried to do really is everything down low we tried to pick up as high as we can. Anything up high we tried to keep it at least where it was. So that gave us a look and appearance that gives you a lot of ground clearance, increased ramp and departure angle, and also gives it that Baja feel versus a monster truck, which we were not going for. Okay, body styling wise, it's got that signature Ford appearance with the really billet-milled machined surfaces, real chunky sections to give it that built Ford tough appearance. Everything we do on this truck is purpose built, and it's designed that way. Form follows function. The hood vents are real. The fender vents are real. They extract heat from the engine compartment. We'll also see versus cheap plastic. We've got real stamped skid plates. Jamal will take you through that, and you can see it on the cutaway a little better than what you can see here. The other thing we tried to do as we pick the bumpers up, both front and rear, we really try to expose the mechanicals to give that customer connection to their powertrain visually, and all the mechanicals underneath. Okay. Content-wise, this is all new for the Raptor, all new from A-pillar forward. The entire truck's new, but A-pillar forward is unique to Raptor. Common cab with Super Duty and F-150. From the back of the cab rearward, all new. Okay, we spent significant investment in the rear versus the outgoing model. We've got a unique applique, like you'll see here, with the FORD lettering. It's kind of a tribute to history, but done in a modern way, and it really gives you a really unique look and a harmonized look 360 degrees around the entire vehicle. Okay, another really unique piece versus the outgoing model. The first model had just a carryover bumper. We've actually invested in a unique bumper specific to Raptor, and it highlights the fact that we've got dual exhaust dumping out the rear, 4.5-inch tubes dumping out the rear. We've also, like I said on the front, we've also really tried to expose the mechanicals and pick the everything low up as high as we can. Okay. We've got 2 unique wheels. We've got new BF Goodrich rubber designed specifically for the Raptor with this aggressive sidewall, really cool. This is the cast wheel you'll see right here. We've got the unique beadlock wheel specific to Raptor. We've also got unique running boards. You can see over here, cast aluminum with Raptor lettering cast in. Really cool. All updated for the new model. Okay, this is also a unique color to Raptor, new to Raptor. It's called Avalanche, and it's really beautiful when you highlight it and accent it with these dark elements. The contrast really sets off the body nicely. Okay, on the interior we've got several unique features specific to Raptor. The chair, the seat. It's got deep bolsters to keep you in the seats, and you'll be able to kind of feel those out in the next couple of days. Really neat. We've got a unique steering wheel specific to Raptor. We've also got magnesium paddle shift. Really cool feel. It feels nice and cold to the touch, so it doesn't feel like cheap plastic, which we love. We've also got an area of toggle switches mounted high on the center console in the headliner, which allows you to upfit any of your extras and features and so forth that you choose to put on your vehicle. So that's it for me. I think Jamal is going to take you through the engineering bits.
Yeah, thanks, Bruno. So I think maybe we'll just walk our way. The rolling chassis is really the core of the things that we've engineered specific to the Raptor. Excuse me. So starting, like Gordo said, we have the bumper that we've chiseled out now. You see the exhaust, it's a 3-inch exhaust. It's a true dual exhaust, so it comes up and it stays as a 3-inch exhaust all the way up to the hot end and the catalytic converters. This exhaust has half the back pressure of the F-150 exhaust, so that's one of the key enablers for the engine's power output, is getting the exhaust back pressure as low as possible. One really testament to how to the lengths that we went on the new Raptor is that for the first time ever, we've got a frame that is completely unique to Raptor, and we've also got a 133-inch frame, and that does not exist in any other F-150. So the Super Cab with the short box configuration, the only way you can get that is with a Raptor Super Cab. So but not only just the size, we found in early development that between the light weighting of the aluminum and the 450 horsepower of the engine and the 10 speeds of the transmission, this truck was carrying significantly more speed off-road than the prior gen. And we found that our road load inputs, just because of the higher speeds, we needed to increase the strength, the ultimate strength of the frame considerably in order to handle those kind of off-road speeds. So what you see here is it's a frame that's almost entirely made of high-strength steel. And not only that, not only in just material, but you've also got up-gauge. We start with a heavy-duty F-150 frame and then further strengthen it with even higher KSI high-strength steel. The shock mounts, both the upper and the lower, are upgraded to withstand higher forces into those pieces. You see the remote reservoir, 3.5-inch Fox shocks here, and these are 9 stages now. They have 9 bypass stages, both in jounce and rebound. 44% more cooling. They're bigger. We've been unable to fade these shocks in any of our testing, so really amazing. If anything, these are kind of the crown jewels along with the engine of the Raptor. We've got new 35-inch BFG all-terrain TAKO tires. And these were, again, developed especially for the Raptor. They have lower rolling resistance. They have better noise characteristics. And they, with the side lugs, they also offer superior traction in deep sand, deep snow, where the sidewalls where the side lugs on the sidewall actually help to contribute traction. The suspension, both the front and the rear, has more travel. So we have 13 inches of suspension travel in the front and nearly 14 in the back. That's significantly more than anyone else is running in terms of travel. We've really embraced long travel, and it really is a key to making the Raptor handle the way it does on-road as well as off-road. You see here the new powertrain. This is the 3.5-liter EcoBoost high output engine. It's significantly different than the F-150 EcoBoost engine. It has the same dual fuel, so it's got port fuel injection as well as direct fuel injection, but we have a higher compression, so we have unique pistons, we have oil piston squirters, we have unique crank bearings and unique crankshaft, a 2-piece oil pan, and unique turbos. We have an electric wastegate, so a lot of content. It truly is a unique engine, and it's 450 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. There's a great graphic right by the engine, and it's our EcoBoost engine compared to everyone else's V8. And I encourage everyone to go take a look at that. I think that's my favorite picture here. Because basically it smokes every other V8 in the market. And we're quite proud of that. This is an amazing, amazing engine. It has so much low-end torque that really it's far superior to not only our outgoing 6.2-liter V8, but also all the other V8s. We have the new 10-speed 10R80 automatic transmission. So that actually has enabled an even lower or higher crawl ratio. So our crawl ratio in 4x4 low is now up to 50-1. And we have an all-new transfer case now. And so what is new about this is it's not a torque-on-demand transfer case. It's not an electronic shift-on-the-fly transfer case. It's both of those packaged all into one. So we can be in 2-wheel drive mode. We can be in 4 auto, so the clutches will actually distribute torque on a varying basis, front to rear, and then we also have the same 4x4 high locking system that we had in the prior Raptor, and then of course the 4x4 low action, or 4x4 low setting. One of the other things you'll notice here is that we have a new transmission shield. So this completely encases the underbody between the two frame rails. So basically, from the transmission extension housing all the way forward, the entire truck is skid plated and protected. So really that's much more protection than we had in the prior generation. Here on the front suspension module, you see that we have now a two-piece shock tower. We have two separate stampings that are welded together, and what that's done is it's allowed us to move the top mount of the shock up now, and that's where we're getting our increased travel. So it still has the 3-inch 9-stage internal bypass shock, unique lower and upper A-arms, but really things like that we made and designed custom for the Raptor, and that's really to get more travel without just lifting the truck up, because we wanted to keep the center of the gravity of the truck as low as possible for high-speed off-roading. Those are the kinds of things that you need to go do to enable a long travel suspension. Here's the charge air cooler. You'll notice that there's two high-speed fans behind it. So between that and our trans cooler, this engine now cools better than the outgoing 6.2 liter V8. Much more robust in hot desert, sand, silt, things like that. It's highly doubtful that you're going to be able to overheat this powertrain. Here we have the skid plate that Gordo talked about. This skid plate is 4.5 millimeters of stamped aluminum. It's also ribbed for increased stiffness, and it's also got a black, basically reinforcement bar right at the base of it, because so that for the hardcore off-roader, it's not a matter of when you're going to hit that skid plate. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And so we have ensured that there's enough structure there that you're not going to damage the skid plate. And then we have, again, all steel front bumper as before. Some of the things that maybe are a little more subtle is we've done a lot on the aerodynamics of the truck, and we're pretty proud that we've increased between the EcoBoost engine. You note that it sits back in the chassis, and between the EcoBoost being just so much more fuel efficient, but we've also concentrated a lot on the aerodynamic drag of the vehicle. So you see little touches like seals at the tow hook. That helps to reduce drag. There's seals in between the bumper and the body. We also have active grille shutters now. All of those things help to reduce the drag of the vehicle. You'll see there's a lot of other parts here scattered around, and I encourage you to go look at them, touch them, feel them, pick them up and ask questions about them. There's with a truck like a Raptor, it's the magic is really in the details, and it's an incredible truck. One of the other things I'd like to just touch on is the terrain modes, which we've tried to make the terrain modes as easy for a customer to understand as possible. So now you have 3 off-road modes, 3 on-road modes, and what we found is, like Doug was saying, is that a lot of our customers really didn't understand the exact right setting to put the truck in. And now that we have even more things that you can change, we thought that a terrain mode would be the best way to just let a customer easily change all the settings with one button push. And you pick your terrain, and you don't even have to change your driveline setting. It'll change your driveline setting and your e-locker and all of that stuff for you. For the expert user, if you want to override that, you can manually override that and use a certain setting, but certainly it gets you 99% of the way there. And for that other 1% customer, they can do unique settings if they want to. As you guys go on the mountain roads, highly encourage you to try sport mode out. That's really the right mode for a twisty mountain road. We also have now the first ever Baja mode. So just like on the Focus RS, we introduced the first ever drift mode. We now have a Baja mode, and we have special software that keeps the turbo spooled up in this mode. We call it anti-lag strategy, and we've applied for a patent on that. And basically, what it does is it keeps the turbo spooled up, even when you're at closed throttle. It will keep the turbo spooled so that when you come off throttle and you go back on throttle, you have instantaneous response. So that's a general overview. There's a bunch of parts, as I said. I think that's it. That's the 2017 Raptor in a nutshell.
All right, thank you, Jamal. Real quick, because I know everyone wants to get out on the road and we have limited daylight. First of all, I want to thank you for being here on a Sunday. And because it's Sunday and because you traveled out this way, let's not have an embargo. Let's get all your stories and posts. Let's just go for it since we're here today. Second, we're going to have an email sent out to you guys with links to the B-roll and any press materials that we have at one-stop shopping for everything that you've learned and will learn during this experience. And this will be an authentic experience today. We've got some great on-road driving routes. Again, you can check out 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, and a truck that's more than 500 pounds lighter on these great roads. So we're excited to get you out on the road here in a second. We'll meet you at the Casa del Zorro in Borrego for dinner, starting at 5:30, cocktails and dinner. Tomorrow we have a great off-road, two great off-road courses set up for you, both a low-speed rock crawl and some high-speed desert running. So look forward to that. So because of that, please keep the trucks on road today. With that said, please don't forget to grab your bag on your way out. We have 3 plus this Raptor here, 4 for your choosing to pick for the on-road drive. So please go ahead and partner up, and we'll see you at 5:30. Thank you.
Hey guys, well there you go. That's the media presentation for the brand new Raptor. I know you've been excited to look at this truck, and I want to be sure that you guys were the first to see and first to get first-hand experience with this. So we're going to go drive it on road. Our plan is to do 2 reviews. We're going to try to do a on-road review and get that published to TFL Truck tonight. So look forward tonight, and then of course the off-road review tomorrow, where we get to take the truck on a high-speed Baja course and rock crawling. So I'm really excited to do that as well. So thanks for sticking with us, and remember, go to tfltruck.com or our YouTube channel and check out the review that I'll be doing, because I'm going to get behind the wheel coming up next. And remember, you saw it first on the Fast Lane Truck. Hit finish.
Higher speeds. We needed to increase the strength, the ultimate strength of the frame considerably in order to handle those kind of off-road speeds. So what you see here is it's a frame. It's almost entirely made of high-strength steel, and not only that, not only in just material, but you've also got up-gauge. We start with a heavy-duty F-150 frame, and then further strengthen it with even higher KSI high-strength steel. The shock mounts, both the upper and the lower, are upgraded to withstand higher forces into those pieces. You see the remote reservoir 3.5-inch Fox shocks here, and these are 9 stages now. They have 9 bypass stages, both in jounce and rebound. 44% more cooling. They're bigger. We've been unable to fade these shocks in any of our testing, so really amazing. If anything, these are kind of the crown jewels along with the engine of the Raptor. We've got new 35-inch BFG all-terrain TAKO tires, and these were, again, developed especially for the Raptor. They have lower rolling resistance, they have better noise characteristics, and they, with the side lugs, they also offer superior traction in deep sand, deep snow, where the sidewalls on the side lugs on the sidewall actually help to contribute traction. The suspension, both the front and the rear, has more travel, so we have 13 inches of suspension travel in the front and nearly 14 in the back. That's significantly more than anyone else is running in terms of travel. We've really embraced long travel, and it really is a key to making the Raptor handle the way it does on-road as well as off-road. You see here the new powertrain. This is the 3.5-liter EcoBoost high output engine. It's significantly different than the F-150 EcoBoost engine. It has the same dual fuel, so it's got port fuel injection as well as direct fuel injection, but we have higher compression, so we have unique pistons, we have oil piston squirters, we have unique crank bearings and unique crankshaft, a two-piece oil pan, and unique turbos. We have an electric wastegate, so a lot of content. It truly is a unique engine, and it's 450 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. There's a great graphic right by the engine, and it's our EcoBoost engine compared to everyone else's V8. And I encourage everyone to go take a look at that. I think that's my favorite picture here, because basically it smokes every other V8 in the market. And we're quite proud of that. This is an amazing, amazing engine. It has so much low-end torque that really it's far superior to not only our outgoing 6.2 liter V8.
And again, what you're going to experience over the next day is just another example of that innovation that Ford's bringing to bear in the truck market. And one of the things that I like to talk about, this is, our job from the marketing standpoint is to be the voice of the customer and to make sure that we're communicating to Jamal and his team and Gordo and the design team what the customer is looking for. Clearly in the first gen Raptor, that 2010 through 14 model, we had a hugely successful product. In fact, unmatched in the marketplace, unmatched in my experience. I've been with Ford for over 38 years and in this job for the last 15 years, and I've never seen a truck product that went through 5 model years with increasing volume in each year without a single penny of incentive spending on it. It's not even available on the company employee purchase plan. That shows you the kind of demand there has been for Raptor. In fact, I mentioned to the earlier group that Carl Brower from Kelly Blue Book had contacted us earlier in the year. They were doing some research and going through resale values, and he wondered if we knew how strong the resale value was on the first gen Raptor. And at that time, back in March or April, a 2014 Raptor was retaining 88% of its original value. So one of the highest in the entire guidebook. And so we have obviously a huge success that we're coming off of. So you say, how do you top that? And again, Gordo and Jamal are going to take you through all the ways in which this Raptor, literally in almost every dimension, is better. The simple way that I'll relate it is Jamal, from the very beginning, when he talked to us about the work they were doing on the new truck, said that comparing the new Raptor to the old Raptor is like comparing the original Raptor to a regular F-150. That's how much of an improvement there is in this new product. So literally the guys have not left any stone unturned. They've touched every performance attribute of the truck. And I think you'll see in their presentation, back to the point about customer insight, as successful as that product was, there were opportunities to make it even better. And fortunately, the teams really listened, and they've done that. I think maybe the train management system is one of the best examples of that. The first gen product, incredibly capable, but we knew in talking to customers they weren't getting the benefit of all that capability, because it was a little bit convoluted or a little bit difficult to get the truck set up and the suspension set up to get the maximum capability out of it in all conditions. Well, the team's made that much easier with this train management system with the 6 different modes. So again, I really ask you to pay close attention to Gordo and Jamal, and then obviously you're going to get to experience it firsthand. We're really proud of it. I think it's another example of what we're doing at Ford. We're staying focused on the customer, staying focused on delivering a better product and innovating and delivering something better for the customer, rather than some of our competitors that seem to be distracted by other things and not really talking a lot about innovation, but maybe taking shots at some of the innovation that we're taking. But that's fine. We hope they continue to do that, because since they've started, our leadership margin has grown, and so we'll encourage continuation of dropping bricks in the bed of a truck and that kind of thing. So with that, I'm going to hand off to Gordo, and Gordo will take you through the design. Gordo?
Thanks, Doug. My name's Gordon Plato. I'm the chief designer for...
I think we're ready to get started. Everybody wants to grab a seat, come on up here. We got a small intimate group, so you can come up to the front row. I'd like to welcome everybody. I'm Doug Scott, the Truck Group Marketing Manager for Ford, and definitely want to thank you for taking the time, especially on Sunday, to join us for the first of 3 waves here in the U.S. for the 2017 Raptor Media Drive. We definitely appreciate all of you taking the time to come out and join us. So my role is going to be, as normal, to set some context for why we're here, what we hope to accomplish, what it means, how it connects to the brand, and what we're doing in the market. And then I'm going to get out of the way and turn it over to the crazy smart engineers and designers. We've got Jamal and team and Gordo here today, and they'll do a great job taking you through the truck and highlights of the new Raptor, and set up the drive, the on-road drive that we'll have later today, and then the off-road drive for tomorrow. So best place to start is we just came out of November, had a terrific November, sold over 72,000 F-Series trucks in the month of November. Just to establish, what that really means, 60,000 is a good month, 65,000 is a very good month, and 70,000 is an exceptional month. In fact, there's only been 12 times in the last almost 10 years, 117 months, that we've topped 70,000 F-Series, so really, really good month. Both F-150 and Super Duty were big contributors. For F-150, it was the best November since 1991. For Super Duty, it was the best November since 2004. For F-Series overall, it was the best November since 2001. So an exceptional month, and that was really even without the benefit of Raptor that you're going to get to experience, and the second gen EcoBoost and 10-speed that's part of the 17 F-150. So obviously we got great momentum. We beat our nearest competitor by almost 27,000 units in the month of November. That gives us almost a 213,000 unit lead for the first 11 months of the year. So in about 30 days from now, we'll be celebrating our 40th consecutive year as the best-selling truck, 35th consecutive year as the best-selling vehicle of any type, car, truck, or SUV. And you say, okay, well, what's the relevance of all that to why we're here today? What we're doing here today, that constant innovation, that continuous improvement that we're always talking to you about, is really what enables that kind of domination and that type of leadership. And that's what we're really priding ourselves on, is that continuous improvement and that innovation that we're bringing to the market. And this just happens to be the latest example. Super Duty, obviously new for 2017, already named the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Texas Auto Writers Truck of the Year, a finalist for the North American Truck of the Year, on fire in the market. Just as an example, in November, it was, as I said, best Super Duty month since November since 2004. But we're experiencing transaction prices that are $10,000 higher on average unit over the outgoing model. The truck's turning in 22 days. Can't keep them on the lot. We're selling 90% crew, 95% 4x4, Over 70% are lariats and above, so real strong demand for the high series in the new Super Duty.
Tubes dumping out the rear. We've also, like I said on the front, we've also really tried to expose the mechanicals and pick the everything low up as high as we can. Okay. We've got two unique wheels. We've got new BF Goodrich rubber designed specifically for the Raptor with this aggressive sidewall, really cool. This is the cast wheel you'll see right here. We've got the unique beadlock wheel specific to Raptor. We've also got unique running boards. You can see over here, cast aluminum with Raptor lettering cast in. Really cool. All updated for the new model. Okay, this is also a unique color to Raptor. New to Raptor. It's called Avalanche, and it's really beautiful when you highlight it and accent it with these dark elements. The contrast really sets off the body nicely. Okay, on the interior we've got several unique features specific to Raptor. The chair, the seat, it's got deep bolsters to keep you in the seats, and you'll be able to kind of feel those out in the next couple of days. Really neat. We've got a unique steering wheel specific to Raptor. We've also got magnesium paddle shift. Really cool feel. It feels nice and cold to the touch, so it doesn't feel like cheap plastic, which we love. We've also got an area of toggle switches mounted high on the center console in the headliner, which allows you to upfit any of your extras and features and so forth that you choose to put on your vehicle. So that's it for me. I think Jamal is going to take you through the engineering bits.
Yeah, thanks, Gordo. So I think maybe we'll just walk our way. The rolling chassis is really the core of the things that we've engineered specific to the Raptor. Excuse me. So starting, like Gordo said, we have the bumper that we've chiseled out now. You see the exhaust, it's a 3-inch exhaust. It's a true dual exhaust, so it comes up and it stays as a 3-inch exhaust all the way up to the hot end and the catalytic converters. This exhaust has half the back pressure of the F-150 exhaust, so that's one of the key enablers for the engine's power output, is getting the exhaust back pressure as low as possible. One really testament to to the lengths that we went on the new Raptor is that for the first time ever, we've got a frame that is completely unique to Raptor, and we've also got a 133-inch frame, and that does not exist in any other F-150. So the Super Cab with the short box configuration, the only way you can get that is with a Raptor Super Cab. So, but not only just the size, we found in early development that between the light weighting of the aluminum and the 450 horsepower of the engine and the 10 speeds of the transmission, this truck was carrying significantly more speed off-road than the prior gen. And we found that our road load inputs, just because of the
Our F-Series, so responsible for F-150 Super Duty and the Raptor. I'm going to go through, first this is the third in a series of common cab vehicles. So everybody knows the 150 Super Duty shares a cab with the 150, and now this shares a cab with both of those vehicles. The offering does come in both cabs, the crew cab and the super cab. I'm going to talk a little bit about what makes the Raptor a Raptor and some of the unique features that we've done on this and some of the DNA that we've carried forward from the previous model to the new model here. So first and foremost, you know, trucks are all about their front ends. So this one, obviously a unique signature Raptor grille. It's got a lot of heritage to the current model with the mesh you'll see here. We're proud of the brand. We're proud of the Ford brand. Regardless of whether it's the oval or the FORD lettering, we like to place that prominently in the center of the grille. We also carried forth the 3 signature lights you see lit here, both for functional reasons and for styling, honestly. So obviously you need the marker lights for anything over 80 inches wide. But this is a real signature piece. You know exactly what this vehicle is when it's coming down the road. As simple as it is, those 3 lights really indicate to the people that this is a Raptor. Okay. With that, we've also got very unique bumpers, and what we tried to do really is everything down low we tried to pick up as high as we can. Anything up high we tried to keep it at least where it was. So that gave us a look and appearance that gives you a lot of ground clearance, increased ramp and departure angle, and also gives it that Baja feel versus a monster truck, which we were not going for. Okay, body styling wise, it's got that signature Ford appearance with the really billet milled machined surfaces, real chunky sections to give it that built Ford tough appearance. Everything we do on this truck is purpose built. And it's designed that way. Form follows function. The hood vents are real. The fender vents are real. They extract heat from the engine compartment. We'll also see versus cheap plastic. We've got real stamped skid plates. Jamal will take you through that, and you can see it on the cutaway a little better than what you can see here. The other thing we tried to do as we picked the bumpers up, both front and rear, we really tried to expose the mechanicals to give that customer connection to their powertrain visually and all the mechanicals underneath. Okay. Content-wise, this is all new for the Raptor, all new from A-pillar forward. The entire truck's new, but A-pillar forward is unique to Raptor. Common cab with Super Duty and F-150. From the back of the cab rearward, all new. Okay, we spent significant investment in the rear versus the outgoing model. We've got a unique applique, like you'll see here with the FORD lettering. It's kind of a tribute to history, but done in a modern way, and it really gives you a really unique look and a harmonized look 360 degrees around the entire vehicle. Okay, another really unique piece versus the outgoing model. The first model had just a carryover bumper. We've actually invested in a unique bumper specific to Raptor, and it highlights the fact that we've got dual exhaust dumping out the rear 4.5-inch